Yes, here we are for week 15 in the National Football League as we come down the stretch. Hank, just 4 weeks remaining in the season. It is unbelievable. I remember when we first just started this Football Friday segment, and now here we are in the middle of December coming down the stretch here. And, I'm looking at this weekend, and not a lot of great games when you look at it, but games nevertheless that have a lot of playoff implication, including, our team, the New York Football Giants, but also a week where we are going to have some Saturday games. Obviously, a full slate on Sunday and a Monday night game. So, are you ready to do this?
Absolutely. Got some good games to cover, and let's get to it.
Absolutely. And as we look right now, Hank just only 4 games separate Hank and myself. So we are coming down the stretch here, and it's how it should be. It should be a close battle to the very end. And of course, we don't know each other's picks going into this one, and we don't make any changes based off of it. But we'll find out what we can do. Hopefully, we can have a winning week because I know last week was a struggle, but it's been that kind of year. So we'll find out what we can do here for week number 15 in the National Football League. Well, I said there are some Saturday games this week. It's a triple header, and we get it going at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday afternoon over there in Minnesota. It's a Noah Eagle, Nate Burleson, Lindsey Sarniak, Tom Pelissero special, Hank, on the NFL Network as the Indianapolis Colts take on the Minnesota Vikings. And those Vikings are a 4-point favorite.
Yeah, I think this is a good game. Minnesota should definitely be able to redeem themselves after an upset loss against the Detroit Lions, which pretty much all but ended any shot they had at getting that number 1 seed. And also it gives Philadelphia a bit of a golden road right there. But I think Minnesota should be able to bounce back and win this one. I mean, the Colts had a little bit of false hope, but then we saw pretty much the dumpster fire that they were. And, I can't really fault Jeff Saturday. The poor guy was thrown into a pretty bad situation. Give me the Vikings.
So I'm going to channel my inner Nick Morgeson here when I say this because I look at this line and I think this is more disrespectful than the line last week when the Vikings were a dog against the Lions. To be only a 4-point favorite here against the Colts, I think this is probably one of the more favorable matchups in terms of the spread this week. And I don't like their Vikings defense in this spot, and we know now they have a minus point differential for the season, but I think this is a get-right game for that defense. I'm going to take Kirk Cousins, who did look like he had one of his better games of the season last week against those Lions. I think he gets it done here. I think the Vikings get it done and get back on track. Minnesota -4 for me in game number 1. It's a Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, Stacey Dales, Steve Weiss special, also on the NFL Network on Saturday afternoon. It's the Baltimore Ravens. Now, we're still trying to figure out who's going to be their quarterback in this spot, but they go to take on the Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Watson, and the Browns are the 3-point favorites here.
Really? Well, okay. Well, it makes sense because we know the Ravens have a pretty tough quarterback situation, but either way, I am not falling for that. Give me Baltimore. I do really think I trust the Browns, and Deshaun Watson has not looked great. Yeah.
I agree. I don't think it matters who is starting. We know it's not going to be Lamar Jackson. I don't care if it's going to be Tyler Huntley or if it's going to be Brown. I don't care who it's going to be. I think they've got enough to get this one done. You looked at their running attack last week. Ronnie Stanley, J.K. Dobbins back in that lineup. Their defense has definitely improved since they got Roquan Smith and Calais Campbell. I think it's going to make it very hard for Nick Chubb to run. And like you said, Deshaun Watson still he's not there yet. I mean, it's going to take him the rest of this season. I mean, I think it's really going to be a non-factor here. I agree with you. Give me the Ravens plus the 3 to win this game outright, upset special in game number 2. It's a Kevin Kugler, Mark Sanchez, Laura Oakman, Peter Schrager special on the NFL Network. An AFC East showdown up in Buffalo as the Miami Dolphins travel up to Buffalo, what looks like could be a snowy, chilly Buffalo, take on Josh Allen and the Bills, with the Bills laying a touchdown at home.
7 points, a 7-point spread is awfully large considering how close these two teams are for the division race. However, I think it's justified this time around, and the reason I say that is because Buffalo is going to be at home in weather that they are totally used to. And you know what? It doesn't get talked about enough, but Josh Allen might very well be the best quarterback in cold weather. Don't believe me? Just look at the statistics. I don't think he's lost too many of those games. Give me Buffalo to win this. And look, let me just say this right now. You do not want Buffalo as the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
Even with the loss of Von Miller, Russo has done an excellent job filling in for him. The Bills are just loaded, period.
I agree. And, you see this line actually coming down a little bit from earlier in the week. And this almost would tempt me to take the Dolphins. I know they're struggling too, but the one thing I've noticed from Josh Allen is it looks like he's actually getting over that elbow issue he had a couple of weeks ago. And I think the snowy conditions are not going to matter here. I think Buffalo will be able to run it. And Tua has not, it's really obvious. We can't really know about the Dolphins because they really haven't done this really with Tua and playing those snowy kind of conditions. And I think it's really more for your ground game. And I don't really know what they're going to be able to do against Buffalo here. So I'm going to take the Bills. This doesn't come down a half a point, which is also more favorable for me in this pick. I'm going to take Buffalo to win and cover their Saturday night over the Dolphins. It's an Adam Amin, Mark Schlereth, Christina Pink special on the NFL on Fox. It's actually a huge NFC South matchup. No, folks, I'm serious again. It's a huge NFC South matchup. Desmond Ridder and the Atlanta Falcons take on Andy Dalton and the Saints are laying 4.5 at home.
I don't care who wins that game. That spread for an NFC South game, it's a little too large, don't you think? But with that being said, I am going to go with the Saints to win this game, but the Falcons will find a way to sneak cover.
I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to go upset special totally here and take the Atlanta Falcons. To me,
whoa!
Well, I think here's what I'm going to say. I think Desmond Ridder by accident is going to be better than Marcus Mariota's been the last couple of weeks. And he's got an underrated offensive line. He's got a strong running game and a quarterback-friendly scheme down over there in Atlanta. And I think he's got a favorable first opponent. The Saints don't have a good pass rush, and maybe they sneak out a win. But I think you're right, though. It won't be more than 4.5 points. So also, if you're kind of struggling who to pick in this matchup, go with the better coach. And that's Arthur Smith and the Falcons over Dennis Allen and the Saints. And even if they don't get it done, 4.5 points is too many to me. But I will do full upset special here. Give me the Falcons. Desmond Ridder's first start will be a win in a huge NFC South game over in New Orleans. Greg Gumbel, Adam Archuleta, AJ Ross special on the NFL on CBS. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling over to Carolina to take on Sam Darnold, Steve Wilkes, and the rejuvenated Carolina Panthers. And the Panthers are a 3-point home favorite.
Ooh, Panthers being a favorite in this game. You know what? I like that. I agree with that. And I got to respect them for what they've done since the firing of Mr. Severance. And it's my new nickname for Matt Rule. Give me the Panthers to win this one.
They look rejuvenated. The only thing I would be concerned about would be the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and that's been playing well despite their quarterback play. But I don't know how you can trust Mitch Trubisky here. And when I say this, I say it because of the system. I trust Sam Darnold and the system more than I trust Mitch Trubisky. And I don't know if it could be Trubisky. You might even see Mason Rudolph getting a shot here with Kenny Pickett and concussion protocol. But the one thing we also saw last week against the Seahawks was their running game getting going. Ever since the trade for trading away Christian McCaffrey, we saw Hubbard have some big runs. We saw Deontay Foreman have some good runs here. And, of course, they still do have DJ Moore at the receiving side. And this is a big game for Carolina, too, because if everything falls right, maybe Carolina could even be up there for first place by the end of Week 15, which is just absolutely crazy to say. But I like the way the Carolina's been playing here. They've been rejuvenated, and they've had some favorable matchups. And you know what? That's what you got to do. Carolina -3 in this one. Joe Davis, Daryl Moose Johnston, Pam Oliver on the NFL on Fox. It is the Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts traveling to Chicago to take on Justin Fields and the Bears, and the Eagles a 9-point road favorite, Hank.
You know what? Let's do it. Upset special. Da Bears. Yeah, right. You really thought I was being serious there for a minute. No, give me the Eagles.
Well, a few weeks ago, I would have given the Bears a chance in this game.
Yeah, no, I probably would have too because Justin Fields looked really good, but the Bears at this point are a dumpster fire. I couldn't say da Bears with a real straight face.
Well, what I mean by saying giving the Bears a chance in this game would be to cover. Because
okay.
Because if you looked at the few weeks back, the Eagles could not stop anybody from running the ball. But their run defense is definitely improved over the last month. And this Bears offense is actually going to be a great test to see where it is this week, because we know the Bears love to run some more, especially with the way that Justin Fields. But when you look at that, I think the run defense is going to do great, because really that's the only way the Bears play right now is through the run. So to me, I think Philadelphia gets a 10-point win on the road in this spot. I will take Philly to win and cover in Chicago against the Bears. It's Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins on the NFL on CBS. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Houston Texans, and the Chiefs, Hank, a 2-touchdown road favorite.
I don't even know if the Chiefs are favored enough. Give me KC.
Yeah.
Well,
so last week I said that the Chiefs were coming off of the loss, and Mahomes was playing a very favorable team, a team that he owns in the Broncos, and he jumped out to a huge lead and did give it back, 3 turnovers against the Broncos. But I think when you look at that, that's why I think the Chiefs are going to destroy the Texans. I mean, we know Mahomes was angry off the loss, and I think he was angry off the 3 turnovers. And for Houston, I mean, I just don't know what you could possibly say. I mean, even maybe their one positive that they had here, which was their running back, Dameon Pierce, not going to play in this one. Chiefs by 17 plus, let's say, against the Texans in Houston. Well, this is one of my favorite games of the week, Hank. It's Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olsen, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi on the NFL on Fox. It is the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, and the Cowboys a 4-point road favorite in this one.
Okay. This time, and I don't mean to sound at the risk of sounding like the boy who cried wolf, I actually am going to go for an upset special. Give me the Jags. And why am I going to say that? I think Trevor Lawrence is really starting to come along at this point in the season. So, please tell me I'm not going to sneeze now. Oh, never mind. It's a false alarm.
It's the cowboy curse right there.
Yeah, I thought my nose would have been allergic to Cowboys. But in any event, I think the Jaguars have slowly gotten better. And look, them being in the playoffs isn't entirely out of the realm of possibility. Anything can happen any given Sunday, and that's football, Susan. Give me the Jags.
Well, you're right. The Jaguars could definitely re-enter this AFC South race, even if they lose this game. You look at it, because, I mean, we saw that the Titans are starting to fall apart a bit, and the Colts and the Texans are just, who they are. But they actually get in the Cowboys at a very, very good time, I think. You look at the Cowboys in this spot. First off, if you look at the Jaguars in this spot, Trevor Lawrence is coming off arguably his best game as a pro. Looks like he's playing with a lot more conviction. And, last week we didn't even know he was going to play when we did this segment, because he was having that toe issue. But he's looking very, very confident right now. And to me, Dallas is, even despite their record, I don't think he's playing with a lot of confidence. I mean, they're almost against any other team, they would not have won that game last week, but it was the Texans. So I don't know if I could take, though, Jacksonville in the full upset special like you, but I am going to grab Jacksonville with the points as well, and say something like 27-24 could be what what it is, because the only thing I would say also is the ground game for Dallas is definitely the advantage in this one, and we'll see. But I think it comes down to a field goal. I think it's going to be that close. So Jacksonville plus the 4, and the way that this year is, Hank, I agree with you. I would not even be surprised they go with the upset winner here. So we're both going to take Jacksonville plus the 4 in this one. It's an Iron Eagle, Charles Davis, Evan Washburn special on the NFL on CBS. It is Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions traveling back to MetLife Stadium once again to take on Gang Green, the New York Football Jets. And this line's fluctuated all week. We've seen Detroit slightly favored. We've seen the Jets slightly favored. We've even seen this game as a pick-em. It's pretty much a pick-em. But as of this, the Jets are the 1-point favorites, Hank.
Again, I don't know that I agree with giving them the favorite. And make no mistake, I hope they win because obviously from a selfish Giants fan perspective, the Lions are a bigger threat to me than the Seattle Seahawks. But with that being said, the Lions have been hot. I can't go against the hot hand. Give me Detroit.
The people are talking about they know how the Lions play at home at Ford Field in a dome. Can they go out in cold weather and do it again on the road? Well, we saw that you do them a couple weeks ago at MetLife Stadium against the Giants. And there's one area in this game where I look at that I do give the Lions an advantage and something to watch here. The Jets' offensive line, which has been falling apart these last couple of weeks, against that Lions defense. Mike White, not 100%. And I will make a bold prediction here. Some way, shape, or form, Zach Wilson is going to get into this game. And it's not that favorable for Mike White to be playing this one. And one of the things also is if this game ends up becoming a shootout, I like the Lions a lot more in that spot. But the way the Lions are playing right now, I mean, the playoff picture is there for the Lions in the NFC. Given their schedule and given the schedule of their opponents and how they're playing, I think it continues here. The Jets, to me, defensively, they're still great. They still got good weapons on offense, but that offensive line cannot go unnoticed. It is a major concern. And when Mike White and his, maybe the only weakness of Mike White is his durability, and he's been battling injuries and stuff. The offensive line for the Jets is the big concern in this spot. I'm going to take the Lions to win at MetLife Stadium on Sunday and keep their playoff hopes going. And the Jets need a win here too, though, in the worst way, because, they're getting the Lions at a bad time. They're getting the Jaguars at a bad time on Thursday on a short week in 2 games that look like could have been make or break their season. They still could get it going, but, now they're on the outside looking in. They need to win and get some help, but I just don't see it here. Lions to win at MetLife on Sunday. Hank, it's a Chris Myers, Robert Smith, and Jen Hale special on the NFL on Fox. It is the Arizona Cardinals and Denver Broncos. Now, we don't know if Russell Wilson's going to clear concussion protocol in time for Sunday. We know that Kyler Murray's out for the season, so it could be a battle of backups over there at Empire State Field at Mile High. And the Broncos are the 3-point favorites in this game.
Yeah, no. Everybody on the Empty the Bench Sports Network is probably going to be reading me the Riot Act, but I don't care. They both suck. I literally chose this game based on flipping a coin, so you know what? I'm going to say it. Broncos country, let's ride.
There it is. And Tom Montalbano has so much power that we even used his graphic when he's not here this week.
Sorry.
Well, you know what though? Broncos defense still has never been the concern in this spot. But I think the Cardinals, though, I still wonder with them now. The Cardinals' offensive line is not that good, and I made this pick before we know what the quarterback matchup's going to be. I just don't like the Broncos in any other way, shape, or form. So I'm going to go upset special and take the Cardinals plus the 3 in Denver, and a game that is going to be not for the faint of heart. I don't think this is going to be a pretty one to watch with possibility of 2 backups there. But Hank and I will disagree here. He'll take the Broncos. I'm going to take Arizona plus the 3 at Empower Field at Mile High. Kenny
Athletic
Albert,
push
Jonathan
back.
Vilma, Shannon Spake special on the NFL on Fox. It's the New England Patriots and their slim playoff hopes traveling to Las Vegas to take on those Raiders. Patriots are a 1-point road favorite.
Let's see here. Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels. Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels. Actually, it's not that simple. Josh McDaniels, believe it or not, has a win against Bill Belichick, but that was back in 2009 with the Broncos. The Raiders, honestly, they could be anything. They could even be a mystery box. But I'm going to take New England regardless because it just feels like another one of those games that Bill Belichick pulls out of his you-know-where.
So I'm going to take your seesaw with Belichick and McDaniels, and I'm looking at this game, Patriot defense versus Raider offense. And it looks like the possibility of Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller being back for the Raiders. But then I'm like, I look at the coaches, and I'm going to take Bill Belichick and the Patriots to win at Vegas. But those two guys being back for the Raiders might help their offense. But, yeah, if I'm struggling this one, so I'm just going to take the team with the better coach. Give me New England plus to win over there in Vegas. And this, yeah, I don't know what to take really about their win last Monday against the Cardinals, Hank, but I think I still trust their defense enough, and I just have a very, very weird feeling. So New England to win against the Vegas Raiders on Sunday. It's an Andrew Catalon, James Lofton, and Amanda Renner special on the NFL on CBS. It is the Tennessee Titans taking on the Los Angeles Chargers, I should say, over there at SoFi Stadium. And Hank, the Chargers are a 3-point home favorite.
Let's see. Again, Justin Herbert, Ryan Tannehill. Justin Herbert, Ryan Tannehill. Oh, wait, better yet, Mike Vrabel, Brandon it's so split amongst the coach.
It's split.
But you know what? Tie goes to the quarterback. I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the Chargers now are starting to, when you look at it, they're starting to make us believe in them again. You know, they were trying to find a way to get themselves back in the playoff picture. Mike Williams being back, I think, is helping this passing game and helping out Justin Herbert. And look, we all know about the Titans. Their main offensive weapon is Derrick Henry. I know they've got Burks and I know they've got Robert Woods, but the way that Ryan Tannehill's been playing lately, I'm not liking it here. And a big game for the Chargers because if you look at their upcoming schedule after this game, it's definitely a favorable one and one they could be getting in control of a playoff spot. But Tennessee's fading, and I think Los Angeles is rising. Give me the Chargers to win and cover it at SoFi Stadium on Sunday. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson on the NFL on CBS. It is Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals taking on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And the Bengals, a 3.5-point road favorite in this one.
Give me the Bengals. They're the hot hand, and I think I need to stop having faith in Tom Brady because I realized that faith probably had an expiration date.
Well, Brady's thing is because his offensive line, which we had talked about before the season started, was going to be very, very important to that team. And that line has been missing guys week in and week out, and Tampa could be getting some guys back in the secondary this week, but their offensive line without Tristan Wirfs is just not good, and it's I think forcing Brady to rush throws more than ever before. And we're still also, when you look at this one, also for the Bengals as of now, we still don't know about some of their guys like T. Higgins, like Tyler Boyd, Trey Henderson. So it's a tricky spot, but I've been burned by the Buccaneers so many times this year that the hook doesn't scare me. I'm going to take the Bengals on the road to win and cover against the Bucs on Sunday. Hank, Sunday Night Football on NBC with Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, and Melissa Stark. It is our New York Football Giants in a huge spot here as they go to FedEx Field to take on the Washington Commanders with Taylor Heineke, and those Commanders are 4.5-point home favorites.
As much as I want to show blind faith in picking Big Blue, what's the thing that I've often told you, Johnny? I'd rather be wrong and excited than right and disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Washington, but please, G-Men, by all means, prove me wrong. I don't know what that thing I was doing. Maybe it was a little like blessing I was giving my hat or something.
Yeah, well, look, they need it, and I think they could have afforded the loss last week, but this is a spot that they got to get. But I think that the only way the Giants, I think, are going to be able to have a chance in this one is if Taylor Heineke makes a mistake, and I know he's been playing well enough to give them wins. The talent level in this one is what really scares me. Though the Giants are lacking a lot in the skill position department, but also the matchup with the Giants' offensive line is getting worse, and the defensive line, I think, is going to dominate for Washington there. But at the same time, I almost feel a little bit more confident with the Giants on the road, as crazy as that sounds. And I'm going to trust Brian Dable here to try and work something up. So I think the Commanders are going to win, but I think it's going to come down to a very, very close spot. So I'm going to grab the 4.5 with the football Giants on Sunday and hope that the Giants win this one outright. I don't think they do, but I think they get it very, very close. Giants plus 4.5 is the play for me there, Hank, on Sunday night.
I hope you're right there.
Well, I hope I'm totally right and going with the upset special, but I'm going to grab the points.
I hope you're right, but I just...
Yeah, no, it's tricky, and again,
I've seen too many bad things happen with a lot of my teams lately, so...
Well, see, the thing with the Giants is too. It just comes down to this. You know what? They're lacking so much. They're lacking so much in skill position players because of injury that I don't care who it is that's under center. I don't care who it is that's the coach. Not many guys would be able to get it done with the kind of players that they have right now. They had those guys in the beginning of the season, and they've been going out. I mean, I said it on Game On, and I said it to you. The Wan'Dale Robinson injury was such a huge blow to this team. And ever since then, that's where it seems like it's been going in the wrong direction. But, we'll find out there over on Sunday night. And then we wrap up the week on Monday Night Football with Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and Lisa Salters on ESPN. Baker Mayfield's Los Angeles Rams travel to Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And the Packers, a touchdown home favorite on Monday night.
Oh geez, Monday Night Football, Saints versus Buccaneers. What?
No, it's the Rams and Packers. The Packers a 7-point favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know we traveled back in time and put out a previous Monday Night Football matchup, but only Cher really has that power, I would say. But give me the Packers.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's first Rams start was fun, but look, the Packer offense, you know what? It's been better, and both teams have now had some extra time to prepare for this one. And Christian Watson has been really the lifesaver for Green Bay. I think he has another good one in this spot. And I just, when in doubt, I just don't trust Baker Mayfield to get it done like he did against the Raiders. I'm gonna take Green Bay, and I'm gonna say that their slim playoff hopes stay alive here on Monday night. So the Packers to win and cover to wrap up the week. Well, it's going to be a very interesting week here. We'll find out with these the playoff teams if they can keep themselves going. See what kind of spoilers we have coming up. So we'll find out what happens for Week 15 here in the league. Now, a couple of programming notes, folks. Next week we will have the first part of our best of Game On happening on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And next week, our football picks will drop on Thursday at 7 p.m. as we'll have everybody back together, hopefully, and do a little crossover. We will pick the Thursday night game as part of that, and then go through all the games as well. So that is our plan for next week. Of course, best thing to do is to follow us on social media on Facebook and Twitter at GameOnETB, on Instagram at GameOn_ETB, and of course our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ETB Network. Hank, enjoy the games this weekend.
Thank you. Will do. I don't know if I'll be able to watch Saturdays because I'm going to be in Philadelphia, but Sunday I will definitely listen to a lot of them on the car ride home.
Absolutely, and we'll find out what happens. So for Hank Indictor, I'm Johnny Montalbano. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. We'll see you for the best of part 1 of Game On Tuesday, and then back with our football picks once again next week.